Peace and love, brothers and sisters. I want to talk to you today about the 4 primary modes of mental action and why you need to know this so that you can understand the process, the natural process that you go through on a day-to-day basis that gets you either stuck where you don't want to be or gets you thriving exactly where you want to be. Okay, so the number 1 mode of mental action is scattering. See, our mind is trained to seek out all the resources, all the things that are needed for survival to begin with. But what happens is we get used to seeking pleasure, and we have a mode of our mind that is meant to just, it's directly interfaced with our sensual pleasures and dislikes as well. That mode of mind is a part of that scattering process that makes us seek out something outside of ourselves to fulfill something that we want. Okay? So we go out and we seek better jobs, we seek better friends, we seek a better partner, we seek all these different things based on ideals that we have, scattering out our attention out into the world, thinking that we're going to find it outside of ourselves. So what happens in that process is all mystics talk about how the life force comes through us from the top into the body out through the 9 portals, right? The 9 portals are the eyes, the nose, 2 nose, mouth, ears, and then the 2 lower apertures. Our attention, our concentration, our consciousness is scattered out through the body, the 9 portals, okay? And it gets basically dissipated out into the world, and our attachment to all these different things, it gets scattered out into all these things. Now, we do have to be in the world, and we do have to interact with society, with life, with, all the different responsibilities we have in our life, and what we have to achieve, what we have to acquire, all these things, yes. But we don't have to be a slave of those things to the extent we think that our well-being, our true happiness, our true joy is going to come from any of those things. So because of this misconception that our fulfillment and our joy is going to come from anything outside of us, what happens is the next phase of mental action, and that is what is called darkening. Darkening happens after we've been dissipated so much and scattered so much out into the world that we are literally drained of all of our energy, drained of all of our life force to even want to try anymore. We get defeated so many times and have so many quote-unquote failures. And if you want to learn more about how to overcome failure and understand how failure is actually not against you, you can check it out in this video here or wherever it is in this video. But really what it comes down to is, in this darkening phase, we are dissipated of our life force. We've sent our energy, our life force out into all these different things through attachment, through the thought that we need those things to be fulfilled, to be whole. We need something outside of us to be whole. And in that, we give everything our power. We give our partner all of our power. We give our belongings, our material possessions, all of our power. We give that brand new house, that brand new car, all of our power. It doesn't do them any good. It's your power. It's for you to have within you as your sustainable life force for your journey, not for theirs. And only if you have a full cup, only if you are full, do you, or are you able to, help others feel that fulfillment as well, or guide them or be an example for them to see that it's for them to seek within themselves. And so you standing firm in holding your own power begins with the next phase. And in this darkening phase, you go into depression, you go into the dark night of the soul, you go into all these things that you feel like you failed and you don't know who you are because you've attached all of your identity on things that you are supposed to acquire or succeed or achieve. And you think that's who you are. You think that that is your identity. You think that is what is going to fulfill your life. And so that darkening phase happens as really ultimately a gift for you to collect yourself and rest and realize, wow, that's not who I am. I'm not fulfilled. I'm not happy. I'm drained. I have no energy. And so it sets up for the next phase, which is gathering. That is the next mental mode of action, is gathering. This is probably the phase that most of us find ourselves in after, a long period, maybe even decades of darkening or scattering and darkening, being under the illusion that we are going to find fulfillment out in the world, so to speak. Doesn't mean we can't have success and do great things and help a lot of people and achieve great feats, but the fact that our fulfillment is never going to come from any of those things outside of ourselves, and believing it's in the future or believing it's outside of ourselves, is where we find ourselves in that darkening phase, and where we begin to need to regather our energy, gather our thoughts, start to collect them back inward so that they're not so much out here. Anyone who sits in meditation knows it's very hard to sit in a dark room, no sound, no light, and even be in the room. Your thoughts, your mind is everywhere else other than that room. It's on everything you're going through at work, everything you're dealing with your family, everything that you are forecasting into the future to happen that doesn't even exist. And it's a wonder why we're miserable, we're not fulfilled, we're unhappy, and we're searching. And so in that searching and that realization, it's not going to come from anywhere else, we begin to gather, collect ourselves. What is it that we truly want? We start asking ourselves better questions. It's one of the best things you can do in that gathering phase, is start asking yourself new questions, because you're going to find yourself, many of us find ourselves not knowing really what we want. Who the heck am I? Where did I come from? Why am I doing this? What am I here for, right? So we start asking ourselves better questions. What is it that I could do right now that would make me happy? How is it that I can feel right now? And we start bringing ourselves more into being rather than doing to achieve some kind of fulfillment. Who am I to be right now to feel fulfilled? And we're always left with an answer that's very simple, oversimplified for many of us, where it's got to be something more, but it's really just you, who you are, exactly where you are right now in this moment is exactly who and what you need to be. That acceptance is a huge part of you really beginning the phase of joy, beginning the phase of fulfillment. So in this next phase, the next mental mode of action is what we call concentration. The mind has to have something that it can focus on as a focal point for its true achievement, as its true being, as its true identity. This often comes in the form of meditation or prayer. But we know through history, even through scientific studies, that people who are exercising levels of concentration on some given higher power, higher purpose, higher vision for who they are. They're not just the body, they're not just the mind, there's something more within you, obviously. It's in everything that is in existence, right? It's the same energy, same electricity, same vibrant source that is in all particles of existence all the time, transcendent and immanent all the time. And so when we begin to focus our energy, gather our energy, and then concentrate our energy, our focus becomes so concentrated on what our purpose is and who we truly are and who we're meant to be, that we begin to just experience deep, utter joy in the moment. Right now, that's the only place that it exists. It's the only thing that exists, is this moment, this present moment right now. You realizing and recognizing that the power of love, light, joy, fulfillment, the power of your infinite spirit is right here, right now. And you're beginning to self-mastery, you're beginning to true success, true fulfillment is right now. And it's only a matter of uncovering all the layers, all the things that you have acquired over time, that scattering process that thinks it needs all these different things outside of itself to make it who it is. It's identified with all those things. It's an uncovering of those things now. Darkening has to happen, then the gathering starts to happen. And the gathering is not gathering of any outside things. It's gathering of yourself, your thoughts, your truth. Asking yourself a question, who the heck do I really truly know that I am deep within? What do I truly, truly want, despite all of the different opinions and versions of what success is supposed to look like, and comparing myself to others and all these different things? Who do I truly want to be? Who do I truly know I actually truly am right now? Concentrate all of your focus on that. And from that being, not doing, from that being, automatically the doing is of itself. This is what is always spoke of with Wu Wei, actionless action, through the Tao Te Ching with Lao Tzu, right? It's the same thing that is spoke of with Abhyas and Vairagya, which is complete surrender, Vairagya, and Abhyas, devotion and practice, like full out disciplined practice, effort, surrender, surrender, surrender. They go hand in hand. Power and love. These are the two balancing forces that are actually one. They are one. But we have to learn how to find ourselves in that middle path, as Buddha said. That middle path of not extreme on one side, or extreme on the other. Find ourselves in the middle path of acceptance in the present moment. And we put our focus and our efforts towards just the realization. That's all it is a realization. It's not really even becoming anything that you aren't already. It's a realization. So really you're just focusing, concentrating your awareness to a point within you. Very subtle, yes. But when that concentration happens, all distractions disappear and you're left simply with that core center of who you are. In that, all things, all doing is effortless. All doing is actionless action. Karma-less karma. So, as you're on this adventure to all this success, and you're an overachiever, and you're striving to be great, which you already are, just know that no matter what your job is, no matter what your profession is, no matter what you're doing in your life, the true joy and happiness is already there within you. You just have to focus on that. It's not going to come from any achievement outside of you. And all of your achievements that are meant for you, all the great feats, the great epic empowerment that is there awaiting for you in the world, is going to come from you being in that center, not from you doing out here. So, I hope this was a help to you, my friend, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. If it did give any light to your life, subscribe, like, and leave a comment. I look forward to reading your comments and connecting with you more, conversing with all of you. So, peace and love, and we'll see you soon.